Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Hello, everybody. So it's many people's been asking me what's been going on, what happened. Too many people to text and too many times to write and tell the story. However, this is part one, August 6th. Part two will be coming out probably Friday, August 9th, or Saturday, August 10th. So, as a whole, and this is not a bash because I got terminated. This has just been a long time coming, and as you guys know, if you check out my page, I talk about a lot of things all the time on here. So I worked for a company called Simplisafe for 2 years, and like any company, it has its good days, its bad days, its ups and downs. However, it was more bad and good. During my 2 years, especially within the last, ever since I became a lead, back in the end of October, early November, I've dealt with racial issues. I dealt with my religious stuff being disrespected and used against me, and I dealt with harassment and other things, break issues, all types of stuff that they didn't do when they didn't have coverage, didn't get breaks. If I did get breaks, all that type of stuff, but we're gonna get into all of that. So let's start with the racial stuff, because that was one of the first things that happened. I dealt with a racial issue with a co-worker and with a specific employee, not employee, co-worker, but also with a customer. And normally with customers, if they're being rude, they're being disrespectful, you can definitely hang up. You can definitely say, I'm not going to help you if you're doing these different types of things. And this was a known issue with this customer and all these different things. And I brought it to the attention of my boss about this customer multiple times, months, at least 3 or 4 times. And they never addressed the issue with the customer, never made sure I was good, none of that type of stuff. Jermaine, you okay? None of that. Then also, I mentioned racial issues with my growth advisor at the time, and they never really addressed the issue. The person is still there, but you know, whatever. I moved on because I still needed to work, and I still needed to make sure mentally that I was in a good headspace while I was at work. So I still continued to be loving and being a lead, and you know, helping people grow and progress in the company, especially on my team. Then I dealt with harassment multiple times with this individual. Always trying to nitpick on things and trying to make me look bad in the group chats, or always trying to make me look bad and saying, well, Jermaine didn't do this. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm very thorough, knows that I'm very, I don't know if this is a word, documentative, or whatever the case may be. I document a lot of stuff, write notes, everything, just so that it's just clear and that it helps the next teammate, it helps the company, it makes me look good just so I have something to fall back on. So this person used to always nitpick. Jermaine, you did this. Jermaine, this, that, da. And I got tired, and I kept on mentioning, this is what's in my inbox. This is what this person keeps on saying. This is what this person keeps on doing. And if you look at all these notes and all these different things, why does this person keep on coming at me, pulling me, trying to put me on blast, inboxing me? So then finally, one day, in the supervisors and leads chat, this particular employee said something in the chat directed towards me, and then I finally said, you know what, since this person wants to be public, you went from trying to humiliate me and call me out behind the scenes, now you want to try to do this in front. Blah, 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 blah. And the only reason why they said something is because it went public and it was in front, in a group forum, and there was more people that seen it. And many people inboxed me saying, Jermaine, we've gone through the same thing, and we reported, and we said things, and he's just like that. He just does that. He just nitpicks, and he does that, and he tries to come after you, and he does this and that. Good job for speaking up and finally saying something about it. And they pulled me into the office. They didn't address him. They didn't say he was out of line. They didn't say, oh, Jermaine, we did get your emails, and we did see this, and sorry we didn't get a chance to really address you, make sure you're good, or make sure it wasn't happening. It was just, oh, he was just being him and da 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 da. No, if my own boss is not even doing that, and then you don't need to harass. This is multiple times, so they don't really deal with harassment stuff. They don't really deal with racial stuff. They don't really make sure people are comfortable in the workplace. But lastly, what really hurt me was they used attendance against me. They try to use my attendance against me. I've had 90s across the boards, maybe like 1 or 2 85s, but it's always been 85 plus until last month. I will get to that. So, you know, most jobs, no calls, no shows, means automatic terminations. You know, you call out too many times, they can use that against you. My job, of course, we had PTO time and all this type of stuff. So if I really wasn't going to be there, then I used the PTO. Sometimes I didn't. Okay, we can be absent 2 times a month, 3 times a month, whatever the case may be, but I have to use the PTO. But I didn't want to abuse that. So to keep my attendance 90 above, you know, okay, I'm not going to come in today. I'm just going to use a PTO. But I barely ever did that. 9 out of 10 times, if I wasn't coming in, I knew in advance and I didn't call out. I requested the time off. So once again, January, February, March, my attendance was great. April, if my memory serves me correctly, my attendance declined because there was a major death that impacted my life. My bishop, my pastor for over 20 something years, that's been through me through foster care, residentials, relationships, high school, middle school, heartbreak, all types of stuff, died. And because I knew how the company worked, when I found out the night, like any normal person would call me to say, hey, I'm dealing with death, I'm not going to be able to come in for a couple of days, this is what's going on. But I went to work the next day just so they wouldn't say nothing. Then I left early. Then, of course, the next day was a Sunday. I went to be around my church family. I was just not there. My heart was broken, like many people that were impacted by that person. So, I didn't go in. And then I let them know when I came back. I think I came back on Tuesday, and I just said, hey, listen, a pastor died. I don't know when the funeral is. I don't know when the services are. But when they are, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be in Massachusetts, and we're going to have to go to Maryland, where he's from. So when they told me, I let them know I'm taking these days off. I didn't want to use no PTO for death, you know, for bereavement. They should have just gave that to me, which they didn't. So I requested the days off, and I said, hey, I will be going to my pastor's funeral. This is a lot on me. I will still work these few days, but if I'm out of it, or if you see me taking a couple of extra breaks than normal, it's because I'm still trying to process this major impact that was in my life. So my attendance, it was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. My schedule rotated, so those particular days I was supposed to work. I was supposed to work Friday, was supposed to work Saturday. My bad about that, my bad about that, my bad about that. So once again, like I was saying, so the funeral I took off all those days, like any normal person would do, especially someone that's impacted, and I went to the funeral, all those different types of things. Then, May was a good month. The only time I took off was for my bishop's memorial service, and I was supposed to work that day, but I went, and that didn't really do too much against my attendance at all. But then June came along, and I've been working with a company for 2 years. The second convention that I went to while working at this company, the same days pretty much I took off last year were the same days that I took off this year. Okay? So, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday was a travel day / Wednesday. And then Saturday was also a travel day. So I didn't work those 5 days. But it was approved. I asked them a month and some change and requested it off and let them know. And I also did that because I was by myself for like 5 or 6 weeks with no coverage, sometimes no breaks, all that type of stuff. But I manned it up, and I just did it. And I said, hey, my religious convention is coming up. I would like to go. I go every year. You know, it's very important to me, all that type of stuff. If you need me to get a note from my church, my organization, I will do that. And they approved it. So then when you get to yesterday, and them saying, Jermaine, well, your attendance have been declining. My attendance has never declined per se, like calling out and not showing up. My attendance declined per their standards because I dealt with bereavement and the death of my pastor. I went to my church's organization's national convention with their approval and their permission and them giving me the days off. You know, did I use PTO for my pastor's time? No. I didn't feel like I needed to use PTO for that. That's different. I feel like a call out, not coming in, you know, I just want to take a day off and want to use PTO. Yes, not for that. Same thing for my religious rights. I asked y'all in 6-7 weeks in advance, and y'all approved it. And like I said, I did that as a courtesy, number one, because I didn't want to be no call, no show. I didn't want to be out of line of disobedient. You know, I didn't want to have a disobedient spirit at the convention. But I also did that because I know that I didn't have no coverage, and I just wanted to be, you know, in line and in order and following company protocol. So July was the only month, technically, that my attendance declined. But once again, I requested the days off. My family reunion, which many of y'all seen pictures and posts of. If you follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, my family reunion was here in Boston. I was the host, so I had to be there. I had to be in order. I had to have the days off. I was supposed to work that Friday and that Saturday. That Sunday, actually, my schedule changed, so I had the Sunday off. And then we had Tuesday, Wednesday. So pretty much I took the days off that I needed for the reunion, and they tried to use that against my attendance, and that only brought my attendance down to like a 78 once again, but it was requested days off. There was no call outs, there was no, you know, all this other type of stuff. And they just try to say that I handled a lead situation wrong as a lead. I spoke to my supervisor about it. I said, hey, we were both gone. This is pretty much the situation. Something happened. Report was written up on 2 of my reps, and I spoke to my supervisor about it, and I just said, hey, maybe we should talk to them about the situation because it looked bad. Me and you both weren't here. I was at my family reunion turning up, and you weren't here, and it made us look bad. So maybe we should talk to them and give them a heads up and just say, hey, this is not good, you know, da-da-da-da, whatever we have to do. And they said that I was wrong, but I spoke to my supervisor about it, and they just really try to use that against me. So that's pretty much it. That's how Simplisafe operates. They don't really deal with racial issues that well. They don't deal with sexual harassment that well. They don't deal with regular harassment that well. They really don't follow up or respond when you tell them that these things are going on to make sure that you're all good. And then they try to use things against you that they should never use against you. I felt like another hole in my heart, not to be dramatic, because they really said my attendance declined when I was dealing with the death of a major person in my life. That hurt. That really, really hurt. And they really used that against me for my attendance. And then they also used, which they approved, is me going to my convention, which I go every single year. I've never missed a convention since I've been going. And that hurt. So just my religious rights, harassment, the person still there working for the company that did what they did to me, and I'm not there. So that's just my spill. I just got tired of retexting or rewriting, and everybody called me, Jermaine, that's not right. You've been there. You have one of the better attendance than everybody else. You always do your job. Never no issues, never no problems on you. So that's just my spill. But part 2 is coming up, and part 2 is going to be with receipts. Once again, part 2 is going to be receipts that I emailed to my boss, growth advisors, screenshots of conversations between the person harassing me and other people saying that this is going on with the same person, all of that. So maybe I might talk to a lawyer, maybe I might not. Maybe I just might chuck it up as a loss and just say, you know what, y'all got that. But overall, Simplisafe is just not a good company to work for when it comes to those types of things. And that's just my still. Peace and God bless. Be looking out August 9th or August 10th for part 2 with receipts. God bless. Talk to you soon.